Tomorrow marks the first new comic book day of the year, so it's time to take a look at this week's slate so I can tell you what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. My name is BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list, my weekly series where I tell you what books are coming out, what I'm personally going to grab, which books are on the chopping block, and what's on my maybe list for the week. And this week is actually a pretty light week. It's the first new comic book day of the year, and we are easing into it with a really slow week, which I'm excited about. So there's quite a few books coming out, but only a few on my list. And we're going to start with the book that I am most excited for. And this week, that is Batman, issue 131. Batman, written by Chip Zdarsky. The art in the previous arc was by Jorge Jimenez. Mike Hawthorne is taking over as of this issue for this next story arc. And basically in the last issue, we got the sort of resolution to the fail-safe story arc. And where the perceived end of that story arc is like, what is going on with Batman? So I'm excited to pick up this issue and figure out, okay, did that really happen? What are the ramifications? What is going on in Batman? And then what's the next story going to look like? As far as I understand, Chip Zdarsky is not trying to do like some big, long Batman epic, but rather several different short stories that'll, over time create something new. So I'm excited about that. Batman definitely being one of my favorite titles from DC right now. And it's funny because a lot of people actually were able to pick up this issue last week, because the distributor just messed some things up. But anyway, it's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm going to grab cover A, although those Joe Quesada variants are looking pretty sweet. Now, next up on the list, speaking of the distributor messing things up, you might notice that I had this book not only on my pull list, but in my hand last week. This is Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 9. Dark Knights of Steel, written by Tom Taylor, art by Yasmin Putri. It's the whole Game of Thrones mashup with DC. I shouldn't say mashup. Game of Thrones has nothing to do with this property, but it'll look familiar to you if you're a fan of that whole medieval knights and dragons and kingdoms and so on. Anyway, we got an all-out war going on between 3 kingdoms, and look, I already read the issue, but for those of you who are only going to pick it up this week, pick up this issue. You are not ready for the ending, and that's all I'm going to say. Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 9, has a cover price of $3.99. I'm going to grab cover A. Actually, I already did, but for all intents and purposes, right? So that's actually it for the DC books on my pull list. There's really only 2 books, which is technically just 1 book since I already have the other one. My total is going to be $9 for those. Now let's move on to Marvel Comics, where the first book on the pull list is X-Force, issue number 36. Every week or every month, I tell you I'm picking up X-Force, and every month I tell you I'm behind. Maybe one day I'll slow down or stop buying it. That won't be this week, though. This is going to be the final issue in the sort of Xeno story arc. So what's funny is I enjoyed the whole Xeno stuff at the beginning of the run. My problem with X-Force is that X-Force gets interrupted by like every X-Men event, and they won't stop having X-Men events. And so I feel like this book just never really catches its legs, but it does interesting things in the breathing room between events. That's why I keep it on the list. But X-Force issue 36 has a cover price of $3.99, and this week I'm grabbing cover A. And the only other Marvel book on the pull list is also X-Men related, but it is my favorite X-Men title. This is X-Men Red, issue number 10. So X-Men Red, I told you in the last issue, we've got this sort of political thing bubbling up. Abigail Brand is really pulling and manipulating strings behind the scenes. And well, in that last issue, we found out who she's going to be up against for the fate of the galaxy, and that is Storm. Listen, you don't want to come between Storm and Arakko. I am very excited about the confrontation that should be taking place in this issue and what it'll mean for the future of the series. You guys know I'm not usually like a big space politics person, but I mean, Storm is Storm. And between Storm and Magneto, X-Men Red has been phenomenal. It's just great. Anyway, X-Men Red issue 10. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the Marvel books on the pull list. So if I just stick to the list, those are going to cost me $8 this week. Let's move on to the indies. All right. So the first indie book on the list this week is one that I probably shouldn't grab, but I'm going to grab it. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Armageddon Game, The Alliance, issue number 2. This one is written and drawn by Junie Ba, who you may remember from the backup story for Black Panther issue 200, featuring, it was like the story of the Trickster God and Bast, and it was really cool. But anyway, I very much enjoyed Junie Ba's art there. Junie Ba also did the TMNT Annual 2022. Anyway, I'm picking up this one up off the strength of the creative team, the creative behind this issue. This one is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, what's the chick's name? Nobody and Alopex, teaming up adventure. Honestly, I don't need like every side character's quest, but again, Junie Ba's on the artwork, so I'm gonna buy it. It's got a cover price of $3.99. It's a light week anyway, so I'm gonna grab the cover A. And the last book on my pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 34. The Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman. These are full color reprints of The Walking Dead with letters pages, with like editorial content in the back. Just great stuff. I still haven't read most of The Walking Dead. I started picking these up to do a side like binding project, and I kind of didn't take into consideration like just how long it would take to compile all the issues that it would need to complete the run. But, oh, well, you know, that's what happens. So, Walking Dead Deluxe, it's got a cover by David Finch, and that's the cover that I'm getting. It's cover A. Oh, and the cover price on that is $3.99. So, all in all, not a super heavy week. My indie books are going to cost me $8. My Marvel books are going to cost me $8. My DC books are really only going to cost me $5 because I already bought the other one last week. So, all in all, I'm spending $20 this week. Like, it's not really bad at all. So what I will probably do, I'll probably end up grabbing like a variant or two of something. I'm eyeing those Batman variants with Joe Quesada or Joe Quesada variants. Those are the ones that I'm looking at. But I might need to take a look at what collected editions are coming out this week, because there is going to be a huge week. The week of the 17th, there are so many omnibus and stuff coming out. Batman and Robin by Peter Tomasi. I think Avengers by Hickman's out that week. There's a lot coming out, so I probably should just save every little coin. And let me know if you want me to start covering collected editions on the pull list video. That might be helpful. So let me know how you feel about it. Look, thank you to everyone who makes this content possible, especially the members of the channel squad and channel family. So if you want to support or continue to support the new direction as we have officially started our Comics Are Dope rebrand, then take a look at the perks and the all the ways you can help by clicking the join button down below. I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this one, and make sure you read something dope today. Peace.